Now on CoastTV News.
Walking for a cause. How much money was raised to fight kidney disease? Biking at the beach. Why a new study says the pastime is key for brain health. Flying above the soon-to-be-opened bypass. The big step for the Millsboro bypass on Monday.
We have a cool fall forecast in store for this first week of fall.
This is CoastTV News at 6.
2, 1.
Cutting the ribbon and starting the walk against kidney disease. Good evening. I'm Madeline Overturf. Welcome to CoastTV News at 6. We begin tonight with a charitable function right here on the coast. Hundreds of people brought their orange to Cape Henlopen State Park for the 17th annual Kidney Walk. CoastTV was a proud sponsor. I was honored to MC the event. It was fun for the whole family and full of people honoring those who are fighting kidney disease or have lost their battle to it. Organizers say this event is so important as most people don't even know that kidney disease is the 8th leading cause of death in the U.S., higher than breast cancer.
Out of those 37 million folks that are estimated to have kidney disease, about 90% of them don't know it. So that's 1 in 7 people don't know that they have kidney disease. So high blood pressure, diabetes, especially if you've got either of those 2 risk factors, you've got to get those kidneys checked.
This year's walk raised about $47,000. And cycling is very popular on the coast. Many of us know that. A recent study suggests cycling could be good for your brain health. Researchers found those who cycled had 19% lower risk of all-cause dementia and a 22% lower risk of Alzheimer's disease. The study also found cycling was associated with greater volumes of the region of the brain that's responsible for memory and learning. Experts not involved in the research, though, warn this study is observational, meaning it cannot prove that cycling directly prevents dementia, and it only shows that it found an association. Today is the last day on duty for the Ocean City Beach Patrol. That was also the case in Rehoboth Beach. Lifeguards say use caution when swimming as the beach patrol season comes to a close. And let's take a live look into Rehoboth Beach. Nobody pretty much on the beach right now as we turn it over to our First Alert Chief Meteorologist Paul Williams with a look at our forecast.
Well, as we begin to take a look at our expectations for this week, we're going to kick off fall officially on Monday, and it's starting to feel a bit like that fall feel. We had that last hurrah of summertime yesterday, but right now we settle into the 60, 69 degrees right now, and we're going to drop down to 64 with increasing cloud cover as we go throughout the rest of the evening hours. We're in the 60s just about everywhere along the coast, but then inland areas a little bit warmer. We're at 70 degrees in Seaford, Bridgeville, as well as Harrington, and 72 degrees right now in Redding, and 71 right now in Willards. We do have Rick current statement that's active until about 7 o'clock for this evening for the beaches. So one of the reasons why might not be so many people out on the beach thus far, but we do have some gusty winds expected to stay accelerated going into tomorrow. So we're watching out for about 25-mile-per-hour winds along the shores and throughout a good portion of the beaches. Coming up, we'll talk more about this first full week of fall. But until then, back to you, Maddie.
Paul, thank you. A new task force founded by Delaware lawmakers is looking for feedback from small restaurateurs. They are gathering input from small restaurant owners, also food trucks. If you've ever faced hurdles with state or local agencies, things like startup challenges, permitting delays, inspections, or day-to-day operations, this is also for childcare with kitchens as well. The task force asks you to complete a survey to help shape policy. That survey is open until October 1st. Heads up for drivers in Milford, lane closures are coming to a busy stretch of US 113. DelDOT says expect lane closures on 113 between North Front Street and Kings Highway, the area on your screen there. DelDOT says work will last through mid-November as crews make bridge repairs in that area. After decades of planning, the North Millsboro bypass is finally ready to open. DelDOT will hold a ribbon cutting Monday at 10:30. The road, though, will fully reopen to drivers on Tuesday. The bypass is 2.4 miles that stretches from 113 to 24. The goal is to ease congestion in downtown Millsboro, especially keeping beach and truck traffic out of there. Monday night, Georgetown Town Council will decide where fallen police officer Chad Spicer's memorial and other monuments on the circle will go. Georgetown's Circle Advisory Committee met Wednesday to finalize recommendations for Town Council, including a new location for the Spicer Memorial and those honoring former Chief Harvey Gregg. Both those memorials were damaged in crashes. The recommended new spot would be further from the road and closer to the fountain on the circle. Coast TV photojournalist Matt Hipsman takes us to this past week's final Circle Advisory Committee meeting.
Those monuments mean something to the family and to the people of the town.
We are hoping to close out this committee and present our recommendations to the Town Council next Monday night. We are recommending that plaques, memorial bricks can be placed in the circle.
One of the things the Circle Committee has done is moved from their original locations, which were in harm's way, obviously, and kind of offset those from the traffic as it enters the circle. So just that in and of itself will add a layer of safety, not only to the monument, but to the people who may be visiting the monument.
Upon adoption of the recommendations by the Mayor and Council, the committee closes.
I think the Town Council will approve our recommendations. We've been meeting for over a year now, and the different recommendations we brought forward have been received well.
Georgetown Town Council meets Monday night, and we'll be sure to keep you posted here on Coast TV on what is decided. Still to come on Coast TV News, thousands gather to remember conservative activist Charlie Kirk. We'll take you to his memorial service.
And we're expecting more fall sunshine on tap for this week.
Shopping for marijuana when new regulations could be coming in Sussex County. Coast TV News returns after this.
This is Coast TV News at 6.
On Tuesday, Sussex County Council will discuss and possibly introduce an ordinance related to marijuana establishments. This comes 2 weeks after Coast TV was told Governor Matt Meyer's office reached out to Sussex County Council to possibly make a change to current regulations. That's for marijuana store zoning. Right now, all marijuana stores in county areas must be 3 miles away from schools and churches. A vetoed bill called for that to go down to 500 feet. Take a look here. Here's the 4 retail dispensaries in Sussex County. Now, the Frankfort location is the only store within town limits. Lewis, Rehoboth, and Georgetown all outside town or city limits.
I like the restrictions they have on it so that like high schoolers or middle schoolers can't easily walk to the dispensaries.
And again, a potential ordinance to change this could be brought up as early as Tuesday, according to Sussex County Council agenda. Tens of thousands of people packing into State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona Sunday to say their final goodbyes to assassinated political activist Charlie Kirk. Lines of mourners were wrapped around the block trying to get in. The conservative political activist and founder of Turning Point USA was shot and killed earlier this month while speaking at a Utah campus. He leaves behind a wife and 2 young children. Among the speakers was White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles, who said Kirk is the reason President Trump won.
I believe Charlie is still urging us not to sit back, not to be quiet, but to carry on his mission forward, loudly, proudly, and with the same conviction he showed. So I ask you, let us honor Charlie in the best way possible, by continuing his work, by building on the foundation he laid, and by making sure this generation knows that this movement is their home.
The president is also speaking at Kirk's memorial. We'll have full coverage of the ceremony tonight on Coast TV News after Sunday Night Football.
There's going to be a fall feel in the air for this week. We'll talk about that in your full forecast. Beautiful weather. That's what we moved here for. That's what we're going to get. We're finally going to get a good payoff on our investment, right? And that's how it's going to be most of this week. We are right now holding at 68 degrees in Rehoboth at this point. Dew point temperature of 59. The winds are right now coming out of the east at about 12 miles per hour. Our expectations for tonight, we'll see scattered cloud cover in place and we'll drop back to about 64 degrees by the 10 o'clock hour. in the Rehoboth area. Now, we're already feeling very soothed and serene in our 60s at this point. 68 degrees seems to be the big theme happening. We're at 68 in Lewis, Rehoboth, Indian River Inlet, Bethany Beach, Long Neck, Millsboro, Dagsboro, Gumboro, anything with an O on the end of it, right? And even including Georgetown right now. Now, as far as our high for today, we got up to about 72 degrees for the maximum temperature in Georgetown as well as Ocean City. 75 was the actual high in Salisbury. Live radar depicting, listen, we have limited cloud cover, if any cloud cover at all at this point. Now, we are being mindful of concerns right along the coast here for really basically we're dealing with rip currents here, but then along the coast here, right, that's where we're concerned about mainly just 25-mile-per-hour winds. We have small craft advisory that's active. So other than a bit of blusteriness, breeziness with the winds, we're looking pretty quiet for the most part. Winds will be pushing out of the northeast for tomorrow. We'll have temperatures riding into the upper 70s, 79 for the high in Georgetown as well as Millsboro. We're looking for 76 for the high in Cambridge. We will push it up to 79, 76 in Cambridge, 79 in Vienna, and we'll get a chance to warm to 77 degrees for the high in Berlin. For Monday, listen, we're going to have scattered cloud cover with winds primarily out of the northeast for Monday. And we're looking at 75 in Lewis, 75 also in Ocean City, Chincoteague, as well as Dewey Beach along the coast. So Monday morning, we start off in the 50s, 58 degrees, kind of chilly, and then we'll warm to like 77. And that's the norm in the first day of fall. Now, as we go into Tuesday, we're going to start off in the 60s, and then we'll eventually ride into the 70s once again. By the way, looking at Gabrielle, and now a Category 1 hurricane with sustained winds at 75 miles per hour. Category 1 barely making the cut, but it will get up to about a Category 3 as it pulls even more so away from the coast. Quick look at our three-day beach forecast, 72 to 75 to 77 for us for Assateague. And we'll warm to 75 on Tuesday and Wednesday in Ocean City. And then we'll warm to 82 on Tuesday for Lewis. Then we'll bounce right back down to 79 with a chance of a scattered shower on Wednesday. Finally, here's a look at your extended forecast. We're looking for temperatures riding into the 80s for this week, but fall will start off at 77.
All right, Paul, thank you so much. Up next on Coast TV News, Sunday Night Football. Minutes ahead of game time coverage, our experts weigh in on the Chiefs versus the Giants. Stay with us. It's the best day of the week, Sunday Night Football, and tonight, right here on Coast TV, the Chiefs take on the Giants. Here's our Football Night in America team with a preview.
Week 3 on Sunday Night Football. I never thought I would say this, but we have the winless Chiefs taking on the Giants. What does Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs need to do in order to get a win?
This is pretty good, right? You're going against the Giants, a team that struggled the last few years. They got to just come out and I think from the start of the game, do some things well on offense and on defense to give them some confidence to go out there and finish a game.
Do you remember a couple of years ago when they struggled right at the end of the season? Mm-hmm. And they said, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to hand the ball to Isaiah Pacheco. We're going to throw the ball to Rashee Rice and make it about these guys. They need to find what those answers are to them and wear those answers out and start creating an identity for themselves on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, Giants coming off of an overtime loss to Dallas. We'll see if they can get it back in shape on Week 3. We'll see at 7 Eastern. Football Night in America on NBC and Peacock.
You just saw it. Football night is here. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. for Sunday Night Football right here on Coast TV. And please stay with us for our hyper-local news after the big game. Up next, a fire on the bypass. What we know from Salisbury firefighters after this. Check this out. Salisbury firefighters responded to a tractor-trailer fire on the bypass. Looks pretty scary there. No word on any injuries, though, and crews did warn everyone avoid the area while that fire was being put out. Google is teaming up with a nonprofit called Stop NCII. Their goal is to fight non-consensual intimate imagery. Victims can create digital fingerprints, hashes on intimate images. Those hashes are shared with platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and OnlyFans that would block re-uploads without needing reports. Google is currently testing this technology and plans to launch it in the coming months. Keeping your house warm this season is expected to rise on average $976. That's an 8% increase from last year All of this according to the National Energy Assistance Directors Association. Fall isn't just for football, it's for marching bands too. The Delmarva Sports Network will cover 6 marching band competitions featuring over a dozen schools from across the peninsula. These competitions will stream exclusively on the dates you see right here on DSN+. As we take a live look outside into Ocean City, one more check on your forecast after this. Humane Animal Partners in Rehoboth Beach is offering express and low-cost vet clinics Wednesdays this fall. HAP says the clinics will have vaccines, microchipping, heartworm and flea prevention, and more, starting as low as $25. The next wellness day is Wednesday, September 24th, but you must make an appointment by calling.
Take a look at our dry tech camera in Ocean City, 69 degrees. We're looking at temperatures falling to the mid-60s with scattered cloud cover going into the rest of the evening hours. We are watching out for breezy conditions along the coast, but just keep that in mind. But it's not going to be a problem with any rain or stormy weather thus far. Call our weather line, 443-880-9100. Your forecast is just a call away, sponsored by the law offices of Brugstead, Mandalas, and Federico. And finally, here's a look at your 10-day forecast. Of course, the first day of fall for Monday, and then we will go into the 80s and watch out for a chance of scattered showers developing Thursday, Friday, going into Saturday. But until we get to that rain, enjoy that fall-like weather.
Sounds great, Paul. Thank you, and thanks for joining us here for Coast TV News at 6. For more news and local weather, download our Coast TV News app. And please join us tonight after Sunday Night Football. Until then, have a great night.